Hi, John. Jeff Bradley here. Thanks for responding to my post on the Find Your Contractor Facebook business page. So I wanted to send you this video real quick, and I will try to keep it short. This stuff can get really technical and techy, so my goal is to keep it under 10 minutes, so hopefully we can do that. I just wanted to point out a few things that are going to make a significant probably a dramatic improvement in your Google ranking. So I'm looking on your website here, and first of all, there's a lot of good things happening about your site. You've got, you probably offer many services that fall under the umbrella keywords like custom pond, waterfall, the hardscaping, obviously, landscape design, all these different things. But the term landscaping is a pretty general umbrella term that covers all these different things. So, and that's ideally what we want to optimize the homepage for, is that one key umbrella term. And landscaping happens to be a very high traffic volume keyword right now. So I'm going to go with that. And best case scenario is eventually a good website will have individual pages for each one of their services, and that way we can optimize each one of those pages for the different services that are described on each page, and then you can direct individual hardscaping traffic to that page, or water features, or however we would determine how many pages you want with all of your services on there. But for right now, and since you have just the one page, let's just stick with the keyword landscaping. So I use that as a search term, and I couldn't tell if you're located in Applegate or are you located in Medford. So I started my search using the keyword landscaping, Applegate, Oregon. And I went down about 8 or 9 pages down, and I could not find you ranking anywhere. Now, the reason that's important is, keep in mind that according to Google, 92% of people that search on Google never look past page 1. So, I mean, being on page 1, that is where all of your future customers are located. So if you're not on page 1, you're basically invisible. And if you're past page 2, I mean, no one's ever going to see you, ever, most likely. So we need to get you bumped up in the rankings and onto page 1, which is going to multiply times 10 at least the number of people who are going to see you. And then that's going to drive up the traffic to your website, and you're going to get jobs from that because all of your future customers are here. The businesses that are on page 1 are taking all of the business in your area. And that goes for not only Applegate, but also Medford, which is a much bigger population area. I think Medford has about 85,000 population. That's a nice sized town. There's a lot of business to be had there. And it's in very easy driving distance from Applegate. So that entire area is lots and lots of business there. And if we can get you ranked in Medford, it's going to have a significant ripple effect out into Applegate and all of the surrounding communities too. So I used the same search terms, landscaping Medford, and I couldn't find you ranking anywhere here either. So what that means is we need to get you bumped up in the rankings. We need to find out what it is that is causing Google to not see you or not notice you. So the very first thing that Google looks at when ranking a website is your title tag. Now, all of these blue lines of text are the title tags. And the title tag tells Google what it is that your website is about and what it is that you want to rank for. It actually tells Google the keywords that you want to rank for and that you want each one of your pages on your site to rank for. So let's go back to your website. I'm going to show you something. Now, the title tag doesn't appear anywhere on your website. It's only in the search results, these blue lines of text. However, if you go into the editing section of your website, there is a place, there's a text field, and it's called title tag. And that is where you enter in your title tag. Now, the title tag has a very specific formula or format that Google wants to look for? Well, first of all, I'm going to open up this scanning tool, and we're going to find out that currently, see, you don't have a title tag. So right off the bat, Google doesn't even see you, doesn't recognize that you exist. So here is what the formula is for the title tag. And it's reading from left to right. You want to put your keyword, then a dash, then your location, dash, and then the name of your business. So the title tag for your site, being a one-page site, and we decided that we're going to, in this example, use landscaping as your umbrella keyword. So in that case, your title tag would be landscaping dash Medford, Oregon, or Applegate, Oregon, however we choose to start out and get your ranking first. But in our example, let's just say Medford. So your title tag would read left to right, landscaping dash Medford, Oregon, dash Hawthorne Landscaping Northwest. That would be what you would enter in to your title tag. Now, let me go back here. Keep in mind this very important point. Google looks at about 200 different things on your website. These are things that Google looks at and tracks and records and measures. But Google measures these things on a sliding scale, which means that you don't have to have the most perfect website in the world in all these different metrics. All you have to do is you just have to be a little bit better than everybody else's website in your area for your industry. So when we look at these businesses that are on page 1 in Medford, and we look and we can see that they've got part of the formula right, but they're not adhering exactly to that format that I just gave you. Now, what that tells us is that they're just the best of everybody else, and that everybody else that has a landscaping website in your area, their title tags are all messed up, and they don't even qualify. They're not adhering to the format at all. These are just the best of the worst, if you want to look at it that way. So as we can see, nobody is really following that format altogether very well. So what that tells me is that if you get your title tag dialed in precisely according to that format, it's going to signal to Google right away that you know what you're doing. You got things together. So keep in mind that title tag, landscaping dash Medford, Oregon dash Hawthorne Landscaping Northwest. Now, the second thing that Google looks at when ranking a website is the H1. Now, the H1 does appear on your website, and it's usually up towards the top somewhere. Now, here's the key. The H1, which stands for header 1, the H1 needs to match exactly what you have in your title tag. So for you, your H1 would have to read the same. Landscaping dash Medford, Oregon dash landscaping or Hawthorne Landscaping Northwest. And you can place the H1 anywhere you want on your page. It's usually towards the top. And so the H1 needs to match precisely. Now, when these two things are in place in the right format, the title tag and the H1, see, currently you don't have one. When you do, and it matches your title tag, when those two things are in place and matching, that creates a crystal clear channel of communication between your website and the Google algorithm. So now Google knows precisely what your website is about, what that page is about, and who it is that you're trying to attract to your website. So Google now knows exactly who to direct to you in a Google search. And like I said earlier, eventually we would go to create individual pages for each one of these services. And then there would be a menu on the top that people could click to take a look at all those services. So somebody landing on your home page through the search term landscaping, they would see the menu on the top and they would see all your services. And they could come down here And then each one of these would also be clickable, and they would link back to those pages. Now, when we go to each one of those pages, each one of these pages will also have its own individual unique title tag featuring the keyword for that page, like hardscaping or whatever it is. And each page will then also have a matching H1. Now, if you go into the editing section of your website, again, you're going to see some text fields, and they're going to be labeled H1, H2, H3, H4, etc. We only are concerned right now about the H1. It needs to match the title tag. Now, the H2 and 3 and 4, they serve different purposes, and we can discuss those later, what they mean and what they do. But right now, if your title tag and your H1 are properly dialed in and matching each other, that is going to signal, that's going to be a huge signal, like a signal flare to Google, that it's going to create that crystal clear channel of communication between your website and Google algorithm. So those are just a couple of the things that are involved in what's called your on-page optimization. And on-page means things that you can see, and then things you can't see that are only in the editing section. And it also has to do with content that we would write for each one of these services. Now, this all accounts for about 50% of your ranking power. Now, the other 50%, I'm just going to touch on real quickly, and we can discuss it later. Hop on a quick phone call and explain everything to you. But it's called your backlink profile. Now, you probably know what backlinks are. Backlinks are when an outside website links to your site. And when that happens, whatever ranking power that outside website has, a portion of that ranking power is going to flow back to your website. And when you get a lot of high-quality outside websites linking to you, you're going to start getting a lot of high-quality ranking power flowing back, and it's going to signal to Google that you are also a website of high quality and you're authoritative, and because only good websites only link to other good websites. So here's what I want to show you about the backlink profile for these two areas. This will give us a good idea, just so you can see where you stand, and so you can kind of see the lay of the land and what it's going to take to equal the backlink profiles of your competitors. So first of all, using this tool, I checked your backlink profile, Hawthorne Landscaping, and currently your domain rating is 0. Now, this is on a scale from 0 to 100, and this is a composite average of all your on-page stuff plus your backlink profiles. And Google kind of figures out an average domain rating, and yours is 0 because you have no backlinks, no linking websites, and none of the on-page things are in place for you. So basically, we are starting from absolute scratch. So let's take a look at the Applegate, Oregon competitor scenario. The first business on page 1 for Applegate is Artisan Landscapes Incorporated. They've got a domain rating of 0.1. Now that is incredibly low. Usually a website that is on page 1, they're going to have typically a domain rating somewhere in the 20s, 30s, 40s, even higher in bigger areas. And they've only got 26 backlinks. Proceeding down to rank 2 for Applegate, Smile Landscape, domain rating 1.8. In third position, we've got Baumgartner Landscape, domain rating of 8. Now, for Applegate, this is incredibly easy to reach, to attain, and surpass in the rankings. So if we go to Medford, Oregon, we find that Baumgartner Landscape is in number 1 position. So, and of course, again, they've got a domain rating of 8. The big guy on the block for Medford is Grounds Guys, 58. Now, they are a franchise, and a franchise is an entirely different ballgame. And a lot of people who search on Google, they will actually skip franchises. They want to find local, organically grown businesses. And it's kind of a psychological thing. But anyway, they're the big guy in the block. They would be very hard to beat. Next for Medford is Good Earth Landscape, domain rating of 8. It's a little bit higher. The competition level's a little bit higher in Medford, but really it's not that high. And it's going to be quite easy with a coordinated, thought-out plan to create a backlink profile for you. It'll be very easy in a short period of time to actually reach and surpass all these page one businesses in Medford. So that, combined with getting all of these on-page metrics dialed in, that is the scenario, that is the roadmap to get you ranking and dominating on page one for your areas. So we went over 15 minutes. I apologize for that. But if you'd like to know more about all of these things, I'd be happy to answer all your questions. Be very happy to jump on a phone call with you. So just let me know, respond back, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye now.